Hello, and welcome to the We're Not Stumped podcast. I'm your host, Mike Boland, and I'm a congenital amputee of the right hand. In this show, I will interview other amputees and allow them to tell you their incredible life stories. I'll also feature family members of amputees and others who support the amputee community, all in an effort to discuss the challenges and triumphs of those living with limb loss. So stick around and listen to inspirational stories and find out why we say, we're not stumped. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the We're Not Stumped podcast. I'm Mike Boland. And on today's episode, I'm very excited. We just had Wafa Lavelle's on, and we just had about a 5 to 15-minute conversation, even before this podcast started, because she's so energetic and so fun to talk to. I just couldn't stop myself. So, Wafa, thank you so much for being on the We're Not Stumped podcast.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad I'm on your podcast to tell my story.
Well, we're going to have fun. You know, I read about you in Emotion magazine and then saw a local to you news, Channel 5, I think where you're at, saw a segment on you. Very, very well done. So I reached out to you and you were so gracious of saying, yes, I'd like to be on your podcast. So I thank you again for that. But, you know, the way we start the We're Not Stumped podcast is we start out with a segment called In Your Own Words. So I'd love to hear the Wafa Lavelle story.
Okay. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it. My story my journey when my mom was pregnant with me, 1960. She got sick, and due to that, they gave her medication. And at that time, they don't know there's a birth defects with medication. And apparently, I was born with 2 cleft feet, and my legs were bent to my thigh. And I didn't walk till the age of 7 years old. I was crawling. They tried. They took me to doctors, everything. No one could do anything back then. They didn't know. Then my grandfather, he does home remedy. If you break your bone, hand, leg, he can reset it. Wow. So he decided to do his own remedy, and he got a lot of herbs from outside and boiled it in the water and put me on top of it with the steam, covered my legs, and for a couple of hours till they were really beet red. Then after that, he took one leg at a time and snapped it open. I passed out, of course, and he started massaging them, pulling with the herbs and oil, and put 2 sticks on each side of the leg and to keep them straight. So he kept on doing that every hour for 50 days. On the 51 day, I stood. And I started 52, took another step. So I'm walking, but with my cleft feet to the side, and I'm not walking flat because I didn't have heels. And I started school, of course. You get bullied going to school, being with your challenge. People, you know, say things about you, but it was tough, but I put my head high and I kept going with school. And we end up immigrant to the United States in 1973. And I went to school the first month, and then the school decided telling my brother, why don't you take her to Children's? And he said, we don't have insurance yet, but we'll take her. I end up getting the chief of staff of orthopedic. We went, they said, we never saw like an issue like this, like your sister. We need to do testing on her. And my brother said, oh, but we don't have insurance. Like, don't worry, she's under our care. She's under Children's Hospital from Boston. They did every test. They knew exactly what was the issue. They did build heels. They put screws in toes to straighten them out and straighten out the feet. They put 2 casts from the knee down. I wasn't walking for 2 years. Then after that, I had leg lengthening, and then the bone broke. And then I was in a spiker cast from the chest down.
Oh, wow.
Additional 2 years. Due to that, my left leg, I cannot bend it because I lost all the muscles, 4 years not walking on, not, using it, bending it. Then after that, I started, going to school or getting tutored and stuff like, because I end up being more in the hospital than being in school. And then 2000, when I was age 17, I'm walking and I stepped on a nail because I don't feel, I don't have the right sensation in my club feet. So I stepped on a nail and I didn't know I stepped on it. So apparently it was eating inside my skin and started getting infected. And due to that, it went to the bone. It was osteomyelitis. And after that, it went into my bloodstream. So at that time, they said, you need to lose the leg. And of course, age 17, it's a tough age. Yeah. I didn't know what to do. Yeah. No support group, no one to speak with, not a peer visitor. I didn't know. So I ended up doing it. And I went through bad time because I didn't know what to expect. I got a prosthesis. I don't even remember how it was, where I got it from. I have no idea. The memory is fake. And then after that, what happened after that? I started just going on with my life as I'm an amputee on my own. I finally found a prosthetist, but it wasn't, he was family owned, kept me in a bubble.
That's a shame.
Didn't know much at all. Mm-hmm. I just go, even if I needed a liner, he said, that came out of my pocket. Or you gain weight, or you this, like he always blamed me. And I believed him because I didn't know any better. No knowledge. I just went, okay, he knows better. He knows what I need. He kept me in the basic foot that does not move. It was awful walking. And after that, because it was a poor fit prosthesis, I end up developing infection and fluids in the limb. So they said, we need to amputate. So they amputate higher, 8 inches. I was devastated. They did it. So he made my prosthesis, but my leg is blue. I cannot walk. I'm in a wheelchair, Mike, for 2 years. Wow. And I'm active, not active in sports that much, but active in my lifestyle. I volunteer, I work, I do everything. I cut hair, whatever it is. And I kept going to him. I was like, it's not fitting right. I feel like I'm choking. And look at it. I sent him pictures how the limb, it's like swelled up, it's blue. It's you ate too much or you drank too much. Always blame me. Then 2 years in the wheelchair, finally I said, I'm giving up. I came to that level. That was in 2016. I threw the prosthesis. I said, you keep it. And I just went home in the wheelchair. And then all of a sudden, Spalding in Boston, they sent me a note. They said, we like you to go to the MPT Coalition. I didn't know nothing about it. I called him up. I said, what is an MPT Coalition? He said, I don't know.
This was your old prosthetist, right?
My old prosthetist. He said, I don't know. Let me check with my patient. I believed him. I said, okay. Again, Spalding reached out in the email, Wafa, you want to go? I didn't answer him. I asked him. He said, I never heard from my patient. So he never guided me. This is a support group as nationwide. Everybody goes to it. You meet peers, you meet MPTs, you go to lectures, nothing. And he never introduced me to go to a support group that was happening everywhere in my town, in Boston. So I end up calling Spalding. They explained to me what it was. I went. I cried the whole 3 days because everything, when I did my amputation, I kept it inside. I never let it out. I did. And then after that, I came back different person. I got certified as a peer visitor.
Fantastic.
I did my first peer visit, I got a peer visit. I cried with that person.
Sure.
I let go of my old prosthetist. I interviewed 5 I clicked with one, I took them, and then I got my peer visitor certified through them. Then I got it through the MPT Coalition. Then after that, my life started opening up.
Uh,
I was in the Bespoke Design Museum. My story was in there at the Prudential, as well at Brigham and Women Hospital. Then I won the Peer Visitor of the Year nationwide.
Congratulations.
I went to Nashville for that. It was phenomenal, very, very touching. 1,400 prosthetists that were there. It was amazing. It was
That's
amazing,
awesome.
amazing. And I was broadcast on TV, and it's just, I'm helping others, and I love to go. I drive, doesn't matter how far I drive to go to do a peer visit, I do it on my own. And what I love about when they tell me I changed their mood, I changed their perspective, because I
Yes.
show them there's a life after an amputation. You could do whatever you can. You try it. You change your life. And it's like, when they know what I went through, and I had 63 surgery, they go, wow, and look at you. They said, did you drive here? I said, of course, I drove here, and I parked the car, I walk here, I don't use devices. But sometimes I get tired. If I want a
Sure.
cane, I use a cane.
Sure.
There's no shame for that.
Nope.
And that's my goal, is to help others, to get further in life after an amputation.
Well, I can tell you do that, and you certainly have the enthusiasm to do that. One of the things, though, as you talked, and there's going to be people listening to this podcast in various stages of their own journey. When you talk, you really speak to self-advocacy, and the reason why you needed to make a change where you were getting your prosthetics is so vitally important. Being able to question your doctor and the way you did it is something that is a story that needs to be told even more. And it really changed your life, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Oh, definitely changed my life. I was in a bubble.
Yeah.
In a bubble, didn't know nothing. Like, I never been to a support group. That's crazy. A prosthetist, I've been with you for 25 years.
Yeah.
You never guide me to go to a support group. When you see the way I am, that I am depressed, I'm sad, you never say, hey, you need this. He's not knowledge and helpful at all. But the company I went with, they are nationwide. They are way different, like night and day. It's unbelievable.
Hey, listen, we're not sponsored by anyone here at the We're Not Stumped podcast. So if you wanted to say who you're currently with, I think it would be fantastic.
I am with Hanger Clinic, and I love them so much.
Fantastic. Well, shout out to Hanger.
They changed my life. They changed my life. They put me out there. They saw what I could do and how I'm helping others. People calling them. Like, I was on vacation going to Dominican, and I met this guy. He's an amputee, and he was unhappy with his prosthetist, whatever. And he called up the Hanger Clinic where I go. He said, I forgot her name. Right away, they knew. He said, you must have met Wafa.
It's interesting. And you said your first Amputee Coalition event was 2016. And
2016.
Mine was last year. And unfortunately, you weren't able to go to that one. Maybe we'll meet in person this year. But I had the same impression that you did. I'm a congenital amputee, and I didn't have the struggles as you did, but it was very interesting to go to the Amputee Coalition and see others like you, because that's a common theme I have on the We're Not Stumped podcast. When we go out in public, we're generally the only ones we see like ourselves. So being able to go to that Amputee Coalition was really eye-opening for you.
It was. I thought I was the only amputee, because I lived my life just regular, raising kids, got married. But when I went there, when they wear stubbies, I was staring at them. I was shocked. I didn't know what it was because I was in the dark. And that's why I cried, and my emotion came out. The whole time I didn't stop. I was eating lunch. One guy, he saw me. I looked at him. He had no hands and no legs. And he said to me, can I sit next to you? And I'm crying. I go, yeah. And all the time I see him take his arms out, the metal arms. And he tapped me again. He's like, is this your first time? And I went, yeah. He's like, you need a hug. And his smile was from here to here.
Wow.
From that moment, I went, wow, I needed this to let all my emotion out after, Mike, I'm talking about after 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? After 30 years, my emotion, and that changed me. And I did my peer visit, and then I came back strong, educated, and knowledge, stronger, and I could go through rocks and nothing's gonna stop me. I'm on the go. And that's what I've been doing since then.
That's fantastic. You know, one of the things that, as I read your story and certainly hearing it live from myself here, there's no time constraint on getting to the other side, if that makes sense. Meaning you definitely had a period of struggle, but I listen to you now and you were so happy. I think that as an amputee, sometimes you think, well, within a year, I should be okay. Within a month, I should be okay. There's no time constraint. Just let it go and go down your own journey. Go to those peer groups, as you say. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. And don't keep looking back the way you were, whatever. No, just go forward. Life is too short. Just enjoy. Every day for us is a blessing.
Yes.
I'm up today. I'm happy. I'm going forward. You know, okay, I'd be lying if yes, we do have our bad days. You know what I mean? And I accept it and I deal with it. Next day, okay, Wafa, you're fine. Out of this door. Go. You know?
Yes.
And I push myself.
I'll tell you, Wafa, the way you just said that just makes me think we're human, just like everyone else. Sure, we're going to have our bad days, but we're allowed to have those good days. And sometimes some amputees, they're not sure whether they're allowed to have those good days. And you and I are saying, yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Exactly.
So this month is Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you as someone who probably, I would imagine, in just the last few years, got to even know about that particular aspect of limb loss? It's probably new to you. What are your feelings towards that?
Limb loss, limb difference, that a person I never heard about it, that we had that month in April.
Yeah.
Till just a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
I probably didn't hear it in 2016. After that, after I joined Facebook, I started adding support group and stuff like that. And I started seeing people posting about it. I was like, wow, that is awesome. Let's keep doing. My goal, I want to help more people for limb loss and limb differences. Keep going out there, get stronger, get your leg. You can do it. Just say yes to your expectation. Don't do it to the fullest, just whatever, how much you can. Yeah. That's all. I mean, I can't bend my left leg. I was on a swing. I have an autistic grandchild. I was pushing him on a swing. And he kept pointing, you, Nana, he wants me. And I go, you want me on the swing? I go, okay, Wafa, go on the swing. And I went, and I was cracking up laughing. It was on the segment. And he loved it. He was closing his eyes like I did it, you know? So
that is so neat.
Exactly.
Well, that's speaking about the other side, about the happiness that we as amputees certainly get to enjoy. And again, people listening to this podcast are in different parts of their journey. And maybe they think that, well, in my journey, it's not possible. And I think when I hear you definitely exemplify that it is possible, no matter what part of life you're in. And we're about the same age. So, hey, happiness is about happiness. What is something that you would like people to understand about living with limb loss? Anything that comes to your mind?
Acceptance. Accept it. The minute you accept what you have, you become happy. Like, I know my challenges, my legs from the knee down because of my club foot, they're not good looking, but I accept it. I think I'm beautiful.
That's awesome.
I am beautiful the way I am in the way I see myself. Like, sometimes people are normal, they depressed or whatever. I said, listen, put makeup on, put perfume, get out of the door. You will feel good about yourself. And that's be positive.
Yeah.
Be happy. You're alive. That's
Yes.
what's a challenge we have. We're not going to be able to change it. It's there.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not going to get my leg to grow back.
Yeah.
You know, so that's it. Accept it. And the minute you accept it, you can be more looking forward into your life. I'm going to be 63. I want to enjoy how many years I have left. Hopefully a long time, but
the next 100 years, you want to enjoy those years.
Yeah. So I just want to enjoy it. You know, I'm walking today, and who knows what's going to happen down the line. There's people out there like today, you know, I'm not going to say, but, you know, usually be happy and just go out there and just do stuff for you. Like, I don't let a lot of things upset me anymore. I used to be. Now I think of me, because some people, even family members, they don't understand what you go through. So I now take care of myself more than what I used to do it before.
Well,
and I go forward. Yes.
That's a strong lesson right there, to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'd ask? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, please.
No, go. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I love listening to you. What I was going to ask, though, is you keep saying get out there, and I completely agree with you. But they're, again, thinking of people in their own various parts of their journey. They understand when they're out there. We understand, you and I understand. You're the center of attention, right? Meaning that people stare, kids stare, that's fine. I mean, I'm interjecting a little bit my own thoughts around this. I don't care. Please come up to me. I'll talk to you about anything. I'll make up a story if you'd like to hear it. What are your thoughts about that? And, you know, about going out there and kind of being on display, for a lack of a better term, because we are. What are your thoughts around that?
Well, me, because I dealt with it from age 17. I had kids. I used to, when I'm at the beach, my legs, they don't look good, but my head's, it's up high. Look, it's okay. I would tell my kids, don't forget, my prosthesis needs some suntan lotion, and they would put it on it. They believe me. They would put so it would not burn. You know, that was back then. And now when kids stare, the mother, I would see her, don't look. And I look at the mom. I said, it's okay. If you want me to explain, I will explain. I have a 4.5-year-old grandchild. I take care of him a lot. He sleeps over. He asked me just 2 nights ago, Nana, why you don't have a foot?
Yeah.
And I said, honey, yes, I used to have one, but it got bad and it got sick because he's not going to understand. Sure. So they had to take it out, and they gave me this fake one. But isn't it pretty? You like it? He's like, I love it. I said, it's purple. That's my favorite color. He's like, that's nice. I like that. So explaining, and I'm okay with it. You know, and when people see that, they like, you know, that they want to talk to you about it. And I have some mother, she asked me, can you explain to my child about it? Because I don't know how to explain it. And I did. I said, sure. And I did it.
I think there's more power in giving us the ability to explain and talk than there is to shut us down or ignore. If that happens, that's a little tough. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree. And also, you know what I noticed that too, when I'm like going to the beach, people, when they see you, the way you walk or the way your legs, I'm carrying a bag, I'm pushing a cart. Can I help you? And I look at them, thank you for that gesture. I love that. But sure. I really would like to do it because that keeps me more stronger.
Yeah.
They said, wow, you're amazing. You know, that because I'm doing it, and I will push the cart right to the beach. I'll set up everything all by myself. And they go, wow, look at you, you know?
Yeah, you go.
Like, one time I was on a cruise, and this guy approached me. I was dancing. I'm at the pool nonstop. He says, I need to give you a hug. I said, why? He said, my wife, because she had a knee surgery, here she is. She's in the room whining of pain. You have not stopped, and look at you. I need a hug from you, and I'm going to go back and tell her she needs to be like you. I I said, thank you. I appreciate that, you know?
Absolutely. Well, that's how you, sometimes it's not just about the words, it's about the actions, and people looking at how you handle yourself is all that needs to be said. But when I think back to what you were talking about earlier, though, about being a peer support and being certified as a peer support person, what has that meant to you? And what does the future look like in that respect for you?
That I'm helping others. I'm giving them knowledge. I'm educating them. Let them know what's out there for them. Don't settle for one prosthetist that he's not doing the job he's supposed to do. Interview, like you going shopping for a car. Go out, interview your prosthetist. See if they're going to meet your needs. And if not, goodbye. Go get another one. And that's what me being a peer visitor is, to help others, get them out there, get knowledge, get educated. You become a peer visitor, do what you can to help others, because it's very important for all the amputees, that because they are in the dark and they don't know much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Till we teach them and become stronger, then that will keep the circle will keep on going and going. Like we're not going to stop to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. You told me a funny story earlier about being in a car, maybe on the first date. Do you mind sharing that story? Because there's part of being an amputee that's fun, right?
Exactly.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you got to be able to do that. So I'm putting you on the spot. I apologize.
I'd be very happy. I met this guy at a restaurant, and we exchanged numbers, and I let him know from the beginning, because I was sitting down, that I am an amputee, blah, blah, blah. We exchanged numbers. We talked, and then we went on our first date, and he doesn't drive. It was raining. I decided to drive him home. But the way I was sitting, I had my prosthetic leg crossed on my other leg. Apparently, air went into the sleeve, so it loosened up the suction, because I was in a vacuum.
Okay.
And while I'm driving him, I'm on the highway, the leg came off. So I started forcing the car to stop, because my cleft foot, I cannot move it to push on the brake. And he goes, what's going on? What's going on? I go, don't panic. I just lost my leg. And he's looking at me, don't panic, you lost your leg. And I go, excuse me, if you like, after I stopped the car, I said, I need to get out the car and do what I need to do. If you are unsafe, please, there's the door. Go do whatever you need to do in a nice, polite, calm. And he's like, no, I'll stay. So I opened the door. I put the leg back on, adjusted, got in. But meanwhile, my heart is beating. It's like, wow, on a first date, I'm driving for 45 years. And all of a sudden, this is the first time ever it had happened to me, ever. And we still talk.
Oh, that's great. Oh, what a great story. It just shows.
I drove him home and I went home. He said, maybe that was God sent, that he want me to know how strong you are. You know, he said to me, he said couple of nice words. You handled it very, very well. I am very impressed of you.
You did.
So I thought, well, thank you.
You know, you told me another funny story. As you were telling that story, it reminded me of the other funny story. You were at a bar, and the bar. I love this story. The bartender says,
"This one, I was at a fundraiser, and I went to get drinks, and there were two guys, big guys, sitting at the bar. I'm tiny, and I said, "Can I squeeze in just to order a couple of drinks?" They said, "Oh, you cute, come here," and I went. And I ordered 2 drinks, and I'm talking to them, and I left. The minute I left, I want to buy another drink for another friend. Well, not even 5 minutes, I come back, they were standing up. And they go, "Oh, you're back again? What? You have a wooden leg that you pour all your drinks in it?" And I went, oh my God, he fell for this one. I go, you know what? It's funny you say that. Check this out, baby. Oh my God, oh no, he was going crazy. Everybody They went crazy at him. Everybody was giving me the high five. Good for you. He deserved it. He wants to buy me drinks. I'm so sorry. I said, what are you apologizing? You fell for that one. I'm happy.
That is fantastic. I mean, those are the stories that when you get to the other side and your happiness, they're just out there. They just come out.
Exactly. Like another time when I was assigned. So my prosthetic was like a boot, right? So we went to the outlet that we have, me, my boyfriend, I was like 18, 19 years old, and my girlfriend and her boyfriend. And I put a pair of boots, and I go to my boyfriend and girlfriend. I said, watch what I'm going to do. And I go, my God, I love these boots. I said, okay, I'm going to get them. Do you mind helping me take them off? So when you pull, he's going to end up pulling my prosthesis because it was like a boot. So he's pulling, my leg is coming off, and he's like, and then he's pulling. I go, what's the matter? Ma'am, I don't know what's going on. I was like, what do you mean? Something is happening. And we all cracking up. I was like, no, I'm sorry. I have a prosthesis. It's okay. And we just died. And he's like, oh my God, you scared? I'm like that. You know, I make fun of what I am. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That it's my prosthetic. I'm an amputee. I accept it. I deal with it. I love life. I joke about it. I just, why not?
There is no why not. I agree with you 100%. And thinking back to some of your whole story, the story in its entirety, like I said, it's a story of perseverance, of self-advocacy, and getting to a point in your life where you're giving back to others. So that brings me to this point. What is next for you? What are you looking to do now? Any current, future goals? Just continue to be the peer visitor, which is
continue as the peer visitor more strongly. Speak at like speaking at your podcast. That was. Yes. I thank you for that. That's why the minute you reached out, I said, of course, anything anybody needs me to do to speak my story or to do or to show, I'll be willing to do more about that.
Well, yeah. You have the record also of the fastest person to get back to me and actually record a podcast. It was a very quick turnaround time, and I can't thank you enough for doing that because it means a lot to me.
You're welcome.
To have people on this podcast. So if people do want to contact you and learn more about you, I know that you're on Instagram, but is there any other way? Is there a more preferred?
I gave you my phone number. You can share it. That's why I am a people. You can share it, and also my email. You have it as well.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
Because I have business card with my email, my phone number. Anytime they can call, they want a peer visit. You can share it with them. I'll be more than happy to.
And I believe you're also listed as a peer visitor on the Amputee Coalition website. Is that correct?
Yes. Correct.
Well, that might be the best way. That way we're going through proper channels. And you're also on Instagram, and I'll make sure that. And if you know your Instagram name off the top of your head, you can certainly say it.
Wafa Haddad, Haddad, Lavelle, Lavelle.
Excellent.
I think, yeah. And also I'm on Facebook as well, Wafa Haddad Lavelle.
I will have both of those links in the description when we get this podcast live. So I'll make sure I'll have the Amputee Coalition, any of the resource. I'll have Hanger's web address on there. Here's a quick story about myself. I've been married just 28 years Saturday, as a matter of fact.
Nice. Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. But as it turns out, not because I wear a prosthetic any longer. I do have an old one over here. Yeah. Using it as a prop. But I haven't worn a prosthetic since the late 70s. But met my wife in 1994, and as it turns out, her family, her dad and her brother, work in the prosthetics field. And my brother-in-law and actually my nephew, his son, currently work for Hanger. And I just think that's kind of interesting.
Wow,
yeah.
That's awesome. That is it. And my prosthetist was on the segment.
Oh, excellent. Oh, by the way, I will have a link to that too, because I think a lot of people need to see that as well.
Do you have it? Do you want me to send it to you, or you have it?
I'll get it, and I'll make sure that your In Motion articles also list.
Yeah.
Wafa is so many different places, and I promise I'll link it to you for your within this podcast. But I just want to thank you for your time so far today. I've taken a little bit of your time, but your story is something that is fantastic that you're able to share it and you're willing to share it because it's going to help other people in their journey. So I just want to thank you for being a guest on the podcast.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it. And anything I could do, if you know anybody, just let me know. It would be my pleasure.
Thank you.
That was the We're Not Stumped podcast, hosted by Mike Boland. If you want to be a guest on the program, reach out to Mike at his email address, mike@mikeboland.com. This podcast is produced by One Hand Man Productions. If you are looking to start your podcast, go to onehandmanproductions.com.